Well, joining us now, the Shadow Scotland Minister, the Labour MP for Glasgow North East, Paul Sweeney. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
How did you vote?
Well, I voted to ensure that the sovereignty of Parliament was upheld, along with all the Labour MPs last night and all the opposition. And it was a really historic occasion, actually. It was delightful, actually, as a new MP to experience that for the first time, a victory over the government, which doesn't come along very often.
Well, you've had other opportunities to inflict a victory on the government. Labour just hasn't chosen to take them.
Well, no, I don't think that's the case at all, actually, because it was dependent on ensuring that we secured the votes of Tories who were willing to rebel against the government, and that hasn't been the case before. And it's been crucial that we've worked very, very closely to ensure that we can win support across the House for this. So it wasn't simply a Labour victory, but it was one that Labour led ultimately with rebels from across the government and then also the other opposition parties. So it's not simply that case. And the crucial thing last night was that we've ensured that the sovereignty of Parliament will determine the final outcome, and that's upholding hundreds of years of our history.
But you had the opportunity to vote a couple of nights ago on an amendment from Tom Brake, the Liberal Democrat, which would have bound the government's hands in terms of single market membership. But your party abstained.
Well, no, that was actually a gimmick of our amendment, and it had no real impact on that ability to uphold the single market and the customs.
But wouldn't it have sent a message to the government, given that Keir Starmer says this is a door we need to keep open? Abstaining doesn't keep a door open, does it?
Well, in that case, that particular amendment didn't deliver that outcome. We scrutinised that, and I actually approached our party directly on that issue, and it was clear that that amendment didn't deliver that outcome. It was technically deficient in that regard, so it wasn't one we wanted to vote on.
So which other amendment are you likely to win then that will secure keeping the door open on the single market?
Well, we're looking to table our own amendments in due course with regards to that, and the key thing for us is to ensure that the devolution settlements are upheld, which the Scottish Tories didn't uphold, and also ensure that the alignment to the single market and the customs union is maintained. That is not through necessarily a binary amendment, because there's no such thing as membership of the single market. It's about maintaining alignment, and it's clear from developments in the last few days, particularly around the Irish border, that that's an inevitability, that's going to have to be the case unless there's a hard border on the island of Ireland. So that's going to have to be part of the Brexit negotiation process, and that's why this vote last night was so crucial, because it now shows the government that their arrogance and treating Parliament with contempt in the last few months, all through the Brexit process, is finally broken their own back, and that they've lost their authority in the House of Commons. It's a real slap down to the government.
Dominic Raab says actually nothing has changed as regards how the government will approach Brexit. It continues. Yes, there will be a vote. They promised a vote previously anyway. It's really the argument is over what you take to mean the word meaningful to mean.
Well, it ensures that the terms of the agreement will be then voted on by Parliament, not simply a rubber stamp, and that's the crucial difference.
But what do you mean? What do you understand it to mean? Because the difficulty here is that they said that the terms would be voted on previously, but if members of Parliament didn't like it, then we would just crash out of the EU with no deal. What's changed?
Well, the difference is that we'll be able to actually instruct the government to reform different aspects of their negotiations. So it's not that we're going to crash out. We can also instruct the government to seek a transitional period as well. And that's what
the government's already committed to a transitional period. They don't need instruction from you to do that.
Well, it's a transitional period in what terms? Labour's position has been obviously that we want a transitional period on status quo terms, because anything else would be unnecessarily damaging. So that's the difference.
But as regards this, at the end of the day, if Parliament has this vote and the government's view in the vote is take it or leave it, that will be what you ultimately vote on. Not
really, no, because we can instruct the government to go back and seek different outcomes. That's the role of Parliament. So if we wanted to, if Parliament wanted to actually determine a different course or amend certain aspects of what we're seeking, the Parliament would have the authority now to do that. So I think it's a real progress for the power of Parliament over the executive.
Just finally, I mean, would that outcome be overturning Brexit?
I don't know that, to be honest. It's pure speculation. I don't think anyone's in the position, unless there's a massive crisis, that we're going to overturn the result of the referendum. I think the result of the referendum was unequivocal in that respect, unless there's a major change. But the key difference is minimising the harms caused by it, and that crucial one is maintaining the benefits of the single market and the customs union, and that's got to be at the epicentre of all the negotiation outcomes. And that's what Labour's committed to, certainly along with other opposition parties.
OK, Glasgow North East Labour MP Paul Sweeney, thank you very much.